finally making a video after several weeks of going MIA. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Melanie Loves Death Metal. And apologies, I don't know the last time I uploaded a video. I know it was several weeks ago. And yeah, my life has just been a little bit chaotic right now. And I haven't had a whole lot of time to sit down and do these things. And even my Instagram has been pretty lackluster as well. I used to post like several times a day over there, and then now I go a couple days in between, which is totally fine. But yeah, things are just kind of chaotic for me right now with work. I've got a lot of changes going on with work, and when I'm able to talk about that, I will. And then my parents moved down here, so I've been helping them and getting them situated and adjusted. And school started back up for my kids, so that's been a little bit chaotic. And just, I have completely lost all motivation to keep up with YouTube or any sort of my social networking stuff right now, which I know happens. I know burnout happens. It happens to a lot of people. That's a common theme, especially when you make YouTube videos. And I pretty much just hit that point of burnout and just not really wanting to do this at the moment. But I built up a little bit of momentum, a little bit of you know, in my head today. It's like, you know what, I have at least 2 hours right now where I know I can record something. So the motivation's starting to come back, and that's because I'm starting to slowly listen to some of the records again that I've gotten. I've got a little bit of a stack back there of new records that are pre-orders that I got in, but I have not been buying anything. I mentioned that a while ago. I'm going to stop buying for a while. We're trying to save up and get a house or own something and get out of our current living situation, because the condo that I'm in, they jacked our rent up an insane amount because the market's really fucking stupid right now. So I chose to slow down on the record buying. So the recording of collection updates are going to be few and far in between now for that reason. But I'm going to start thinking of other things to do on this channel, like talking more in depth about discographies, promoting more new music that's going to be coming out, which I do have something coming up with that, and a couple of other things that I've been trying to collaborate on with other YouTubers and some friends. So other content will be here, but those collection updates are going to be really, really spread out now, because I have not been buying anything, hardly at all. A lot of people send me stuff like, hey, have you checked this out? Did you buy this? And my response has been, no, I haven't. The new music of death metal has been very lackluster for my part. I used to scour Bandcamp every Friday to see what's been released. I used to track everything on Instagram about what labels are releasing what. And for the most part, I've been still kind of doing that from the Instagram perspective. I can't remember the last time I opened up Bandcamp, to be honest with you. And I still know of like some bigger name releases that are coming, and some death metal bands that obviously I'm a fan of. I know that their releases are coming, like still tracking that. But I used to really be into tracking the more underground stuff too, and I just haven't had any desire to do that. Just my things, there's a lot of stuff going on in my life right now that I need to have more of my attention to. And the music part of it is just gonna have to take a little bit of a backseat right now, which kind of sucks, but well, it'll get back. It'll get back in full swing when all this stuff settles down, which should be in about a couple more weeks, hopefully. So with that said, I'm going to do a collection update today of all pre-orders that I finally got in the mail, that I've had for several weeks, but I'm going to talk about them today. Some new albums and some old ones that got represses, or finally got a pressing on vinyl for the first time. So I'll talk about that, and then I do have about 2 or 3 other videos I know I'm going to record in terms of things I've gotten new in my collection, because I have gotten a lot of new stuff over these last several months. I just haven't shown them on here because admittedly they sat and I haven't listened to them a whole lot. So there will be a Black Metal Monday coming up, the monthly one, in about a week or 2 for September, because I do have several new records that I got. I have a VCLT video that I need to post because people have sent me stuff and I want to talk about it and thank them publicly in a video because they deserve that. And then again, like I said, new music promotions are coming. So a lot of new content. I just need to get off my ass and record the videos. So today will probably be that day where I record several of those videos and get them out there and have them pre-scheduled to be uploaded. So let's go ahead and get started. The first one is from, well, actually I have 3 from the same from the same label, but they came at different times because the pre-orders came out at different times. But I finally got them all in, so I'll show them all off at once. So the first one is, and this is all from Miasmatic Necrosis, which you guys know is from the UK. First one is the new Sedimentum album that just came out. What the hell is this called again? Some name that I'm probably not going to be able to. Was right. With some name I'm not going to be able to pronounce. I'm not even going to try. So Sedimentum is a death metal band out of Canada, and this is their first full-length release. They've released a demo before that was incredible, very hard to get, sells out every time they repress it. And then they have Horrific Manifestations, which was a split that they did with Phobophilic, which immediately is where I learned about Sedimentum. That split is phenomenal. If you're able to get that, Rotted Life was the one that pressed that. I think that they've repressed it several times, and I know that's sold out everywhere too. But you can probably find it now. I think they've repressed it enough to where you'll be able to find it on Discogs for a decent price. It's been taped in a vinyl release. So again, this is the new Sedimentum. This album is very, very good. In terms of death metal records to be released this year, and it being one of the top ones, 100%. It's got a very doomy-esque, dissonant, doomy sound to it. That's Sedimentum as a whole. The band just absolutely slays. They are just a very, very well-rounded death metal band. And this album, for a debut full-length, no question is phenomenal. So I finally sat down, nice glossy gatefold there. I finally sat down and listened to this in whole last week after having this for several weeks now. And I absolutely enjoy it. It is a very, very good album. So I think not enough people are talking about this, at least not from what I've seen. Again, I've been pretty absent on social media too in terms of this stuff. But if you have not heard this yet, check it out. I think this sold out, but there might be still some plain black copies left. But it's this like murky green with a very light purple splatter. And Misako presses really, really nice vinyl. Like, it's a really nice glossy gatefold. So this is a really, really good album, and probably going to be one of my favorites to come out this year. Again, I hadn't really fully listened to it yet until recently, so I think it warrants a few more spins. I am slowly, collecting my favorite albums of the year, and this second half of the year has been insane. I'm probably going to be showing off at least one or two other albums in this video that have skyrocketed to my top list for sure, that are just phenomenal records. This is one of them, and then there's two other I know for sure that will go up here. So yeah, if you really like that dark, dissonant, like doomy type of death metal, not too doomy, but they have some elements in there, just really good riffage, great stuff. Honestly, I think you'll really like this album. It is very, very good. This band just absolutely slays. Like, Sedimentum is so good. The demos and stuff that they've released previous to that, I was a huge fan of. So I'm happy that they finally have a full length out. So check this out, and hopefully I can see them live someday. I've never seen them live. Would love to, because I think they would be absolutely fun. I've watched videos of them live, and they're incredible live. They're a fun band live. So the next one is another really great death metal record to be released this year. And I called these out in my favorite albums of the year so far video. Like, I knew that these were coming. Oh, actually, there's... just remember, there's another one in here, too. I knew that these were coming. I knew this would be on my list. And I just knew they would, because of... I know the bands, I know their music, and I really love their music. So, just calling that out. I knew this was going to happen. So, the next one is the new Fleshrot. So, Fleshrot is an awesome death metal band. Again, one of those bands, this is their first actual full length, I think. Am I right about that? Let me make sure I'm pretty sure it is, because I'm pretty sure they only had a demo out before this, and that's the only thing that I own by them. Yeah, it was their first full length. So the band is a U.S. death metal band. This is also Miasmatic Necrosis records as well. This is their first full length Unburied Corpse. And previously, they had a demo, which is titled Demo 22 out. Awesome demo. That again sells out every single time it gets repressed, and the band just built a really big following, and this album is good. It is a good album. It's fun. It's a fun first full length. Definitely met my expectations for it. Wasn't disappointed at all. So this is a really, really great death metal. Just straight up death metal record. If you just want a new school death metal record to listen to, nothing, no bullshit death metal. This is one of those great death metal records. I think Ben Brainsmasher says Lunchbox death metal. So yeah, I've told everybody, do not sleep on this release. Listen to it. It definitely warrants the attention. I've really also enjoyed this album, and the artwork is pretty cool. It's the same artist that did Worms art from last year, Brad Moore. Ooh, sorry about that. So again, a nice glossy sleeve, and yep, there's inner sheet too. So of lyrics. So Fleshrot is one of those like horror movie type of death metal bands. So yeah, that's pretty much the theme around this. So this is a really good album. So I'm happy I got this in. Again, these were pre-orders from a while ago. They sold out pretty quick. I think the plain blacks are still available. I might totally be wrong about that though. And I did buy them directly through Maseko, so I had to pay that shipping and wait it out, and then they finally came several weeks ago, and I'm just finally getting around to talking about them now. So really great album. Check this out. So these two, I knew they were coming. I knew I was going to really enjoy them, just because of past music that I heard by them, and I knew I was going to be a fan of those records. The next one is another one that came out recently that, again, has been one of my favorite death metal, blackened death metal, whatever genre you want to freaking call them. People are so weird about that shit. Band in recent years. I was just absolutely in love with their last release. It was my favorite record to come out that year. I still listen to it a lot, so I was really excited about this album to come out. And I've seen, for the most part, I've seen really, really good reviews on it. Some people, I think, probably had maybe a little bit of too high expectations, honestly, from their last album, because their last album was so good. But again, I think this album is phenomenal, and I immediately kind of forgot it was coming, to be honest with you, because I started to fade off a little bit on the releases and buying things, and forgot about the pre-orders that I had, and this came while I had COVID, so then I was able to listen to it because I had a lot of time back then. And I've spun it a lot. It's probably gotten, this and a couple of other releases that I've gotten this year have gotten the most spins. The next one I'm going to talk about is definitely another one. And this is the new Wake album. What the hell is this called again? Thought from Descent. So Wake is another Canada band. Like I said, it's like a blackened death metal. Some of their earlier stuff sounds a little bit more grindcore-y, but this stuff is more blackened death metal, very dissonant sounding. Their last album, Devouring Ruin, came out in 2020. That album was phenomenal. That came out on Translation Lost Records. They are now on Metal Blade, so this came out through Metal Blade. Sadly, my copy, I don't know if you can see that, came a little bit damaged. There's a big crease right here. There we go. On the front jacket. I did hit him up and was like, hey, if you got any extra jackets, it'd be awesome if you could send me one, but they don't. So I'm stuck with this, but it's okay. The vinyl is fine. That's all that matters. So this is their 6th full-length album. I have Devouring Ruin and Misery Rites. I don't have anything before that. I think those things are relatively hard to find. I'm hoping that eventually those will get repressed. Misery Rites and Devouring Ruin are phenomenal records. You can get those on Translation Lost. So that is when I became a fan of this band. I had no idea who they were until Devouring Ruin came out. Everybody was praising it, so I finally checked it out. This album is by far my favorite Wake album now. I like where they went in regards to their transition. It's still Wake. I will say that. Their elements are still there, but they've added a little bit more progressiveness to this. There's a little bit more, not like too proggy, but just more like atmosphere, I guess you could say. And I got whatever version this is. I don't know. They pressed several copies, colors of this. But I really, really love this album, and it's a quick listen. I was surprised that it was over when I listened to it. I still get surprised by that. I would say it's such a quick listen. There's you know, there's interludes with no vocals, just music, so I think that's probably why it makes it a quick listen. But it is a very, very good album. Bleeding Eyes of the Watcher just is a great song. The Infinite Inward is the very first song on here with the intro. It's so good. But yeah, it's a very, very good album. If you're a fan of Wake, I think you'll like this. I've seen some people that are kind of just like, it's boring. But for me, personally, I really enjoyed this album. And again, I think I called this out in my video. My favorite album so far come out there. Like, I know the new Wake album is coming, and I know I'm probably going to like it because of the singles that have come out already, and I really liked those songs. So, yeah, another great record to come out. The second half of the year, all of these records are hitting, and it's funny because in, like, my group chats on Instagram that I'm in, that's the same sentiment across the board. Everybody keeps saying it's like, oh man, all the releases are finally coming out now. Like, it was a little bit slow there in the beginning of the year, and now everything's all coming out at once. So this is a phenomenal record. Check it out. Again, if you're a Wake fan, I think you'll enjoy it. But I've also seen some people that said they're just bored with it. But I think it's a good album. I definitely have to be in the mood for it. I'll tell you that right now. So when I'm in the mood for that, more of that darker, dissonant type of death metal, that's generally the band that I go with. If I want more of like the Lunchbox death metal, Flesh Rot, Molder, stuff like that, Undeath, I listen to that. So the genres are all there. So next is another new release that I have not talked about on here, that I don't know why I haven't talked about on here, because I had this for a while. I had the tape for a long time, and I never showed it off on here, and I don't know why. So this actually did not make my favorite albums of the year so far video. For some reason I forgot it, and I don't know why I forgot it, because I've been listening to this a ton ever since it came out, and I have not talked about it here. Again, my mind is just not all there. But this is probably, I don't know, like in terms of like my top 5 favorite death metal albums, this should probably be on it, with Father Befouled and the other ones that I've talked about several times. This is a new Sam Plantley, I think that's how you say that, Sam Plantley, record that came out on 20 Bucks Spain. This is their first full length, I believe. Is that right? I think all they had was demo before this, which was on Transylvanian Recordings. Sam Plantley, I think is how you say that. Anyway, yeah, they had an EP on Transylvanian Recordings previously. I can't pronounce the record name. But band out of US, very death doomy, phenomenal record, amazing record. This album is amazing. This actually, I don't know why I haven't talked about this on here. I've been talking about this in my group chats, and I've put so many people onto this. So I'm familiar with this band because of the Transylvania Recordings. I do have the EP. I know I've showed it off on here. But they finally released their first full length on 20 Bucks Spain. I'm pretty sure this is still available too, so they pressed a lot of copies of this. Just a great album, a great death doom album. So if you're into death doom metal, you like that type of metal, you'll love this album. I got this special edition where it's the Mexico flag. So there's a lot of that. Sam Plantley is I feel like it's a special, like, not torture device. It's like a wall of skulls, I think is what it is. I don't know. I'm totally failing, but yeah, there you go right there. So yeah, you pretty much know the general theme of this band and the guys behind it. I'm probably totally misspoke on that. I'm going to look it up now, so that way I don't have the people that love coming into the comments to make you feel like an idiot, because they have to be know-it-alls and they have to prove that they know everything. YouTube, man! Gotta love it! So, let me make sure, first of all, my phone is vibrating and it's driving me nuts. Okay, let me see what actually this Sam Plantley, I forgot how to say it. I'm pretty sure that's how it is. I looked up a YouTube video on how to say it. It is a skull rack. It's a type of wooden rack. Yeah, it's a skull rack. So that's pretty much what the meaning around this is. It's basically an Aztec era type of thing. So there you go. But yeah, phenomenal death doom record. If you're into death doom metal, you'll love this record. It's very good. check it out. I know that this has been out for a while. The tape and CDs came out first. The vinyls finally got released, so I finally got this in. I don't know why I never showed off the tape in my other videos. I just forgot. I don't just straight up forgot. So great album. Check this out. So that's one of the other new releases that came out. So those four are pre-orders I've been waiting on, new releases that just came out. Check those out. All great albums. The next are repressings of albums that have been out for a while that I finally got. So yeah, the next one is, this absolutely needs no introduction. Another one from Meisako. Miasmatic Necrosis, Apex Profane, Gore Grind. There you go. This has been pressed on tapes. I have the tape. I think I've showed it off on here. Sells out super quick, and they did a vinyl pressing. Is this the third press now? And it sells out insanely quick. And I think this is actually sold out too. So Meisako repressed this a while ago, and the pre-orders finally came in. I think this was heavily delayed due to COVID. So it finally came in. I've actually had this for quite a while, so I figured I would show it off today. The inner jacket is sick. I love when they do stuff like that. Nice quality. So yeah, if you're a Gore Grind fan, you know what this is. I don't even have to tell you about it. I don't even have to talk about it. Just probably one of the best records to be released in the genre, in my opinion. So fun, so filthy. There you go. Print inner sheet. I just have the classic black. I was not quick enough to get any of the color copies that were repressed. Again, the thing has the print on the inside, and then this side is the lyrics that you can't read because it's all blood splattered. So yeah, this finally came in. Finally got this. One of those records that you absolutely, if you're a grind fan, you absolutely have to have this in your collection. It's one of those, like, I lost the word in my head. But you just absolutely have to have it. It's a phenomenal record. Just Gore Grind's finest right there. So that finally came in. The next, I'm saving the Trigger one for last. So I didn't doing that on purpose. The next is another pre-order that finally came in. The new Fear Factory repressing from Run Out Groove. So they did demanufacture previously, and then now they've done Soul of a New Machine. Everybody knows Fear Factory is one of my all-time favorite bands, so I absolutely had to get this. I sat on it for a while, and I knew, it would probably be around for a while. But eventually I started to see the color pressings were sold out, so I finally was like, all right, I need to just get it because I want it, and I don't want to wait and see if my record stores will get it. I don't want to buy it for a stupid price off Discogs, so I finally just pre-ordered it and got it. So this is finally in. This record probably weighs 5 pounds. This is how the demanufactured record is too. It's a 3 LP, which I fucking hate 3 LPs, but these are really nice quality. The demanufactured one sounds amazing, and the quality of the jacket is awesome. So I guess, I won't bitch too much about that. So I just have the black copies, because again, the color completely sold out. I'm sure it might be on Discogs or in some stores now, but I didn't care to look. And then Fear is the Mind Killer. There you go. So it's a trifold pressing, and it has a bunch of mixes on here. It has the Fears of Mind Killer EP on here too, which is pretty cool. So yeah, if you're a Fear Factor fan, you know what this is. You know what it sounds like. I don't need to talk about it. If you're not a Fear Factor fan and you're just like, fuck this album, then you can just turn the video off now, because you're probably gonna hate the next one I show off even more. But yeah, really, really nice pressing. Sounds awesome. I've already listened to it several times. Not my favorite Fear Factory album, but a classic, iconic one that, every fan should have in their collection. So I'm glad that I finally own this on vinyl, because this was incredibly hard to find before that. It was selling for stupid amounts of money, because it was sold out, and they hadn't repressed it pretty much ever. So this and demanufacture were absolute must-haves on vinyl. So I finally just broke down and got it. The price was stupid, though. It ended up costing $60 in total with shipping, which is just ridiculous, but happens. So this was one of the last pre-orders that I put in place that I got. And then the final one that I got was an exception that I made because they announced this back in June, that they were finally releasing this on a normal LP. The special box set edition had already come out several months before that. It was sold for a stupid price, and I bought it and I showed it on here because of course I had to have it. It's my favorite band. But they finally announced an actual real pressing of this, like a normal pressing of the album, while I was on vacation, and I made the exception. I was like, hey, like, I know I'm not buying vinyl right now, but I'm gonna pre-order this because because you'll know why in a minute. So this is the official, like, real pressing, not a special box set edition of Tool's Fear Inoculum. So again, I said I saved the Trigger one for last because I know a lot of people that watch my videos either really love this band like I do, or they just absolutely hate it, and they have a lot of feelings when it comes to this band, and they make it very known in the comments. And I'm used to that because it's the same on Instagram as well. Even in my group of friends, I have a group of friends that either absolutely love this album, they think it's awesome like I do, or they fucking hate it and they wish Tool would have just gone back to their Enema days or their Undertow days, and that they just don't like how proggy this is. They don't like it at all. So I'm not gonna sit here and tell you how much I love this album. I already have, and you guys know, like, this is my favorite band. So I was really excited that they finally pressed this on a normal copy, because that box set, as great as it is, as nice as it is, it's a fucking pain in the ass to play. It's 5 vinyls of just standing up and flipping after every song. Like, it's ridiculous. And it's not easy to pull out. The book is just a pain in the ass to get the, it's a beautiful box set. It's a great collector thing to have, which I don't have a whole lot of vinyls that are just for the collection aspect of it. Like, I buy vinyls so I can listen to them. That is simply just for a collection piece. Like, I probably won't ever pull it out to listen to ever again now that I own this one. So there you go. You got the Alex Grey artwork. Another trifold that I absolutely fucking hate. But again, it's Tool, long songs. So yeah. And this is just plain black. I don't think they don't do color pressings. So if you ever get a Tool record that's a color pressing, I'm 100% sure that's a bootleg. I don't think that they've ever pressed special color editions. They may have for Enema way back in the day. Maybe. I can't remember. But for the most part, they're just a plain classic black pressing. So there you go. Sounds phenomenal. I don't have any issues with it. I think some people said maybe theirs had a little bit of surface noise, but that may have just been, they probably just need to clean the record, maybe. I don't know, but mine sounds phenomenal. Again, I have a very basic setup, as you can see back there, so I'm not a huge sound nerd. I don't buy thousands of dollars worth of equipment. Maybe someday, but not right now. Don't have the space for it. But sounds great. I was really happy that they finally put this on a normal edition of a vinyl. So now what I'm waiting for my Tool vinyl collection. I have to get Enema. I probably will never own that because an official, actual, real release of Enema goes for like $1,000. It's ridiculous. A local record store that I have here has one, and if they're selling it for $1,500, I just will never, ever buy that for that price. And the bootlegs are like $400, which I will never spend $400 on a bootleg. Never, ever. I have a 10,000 Days bootleg. That is the next one that they have to officially press on vinyl. And then that's it. I think 10,000 Days and Enema are the only ones that I'm waiting on. So who knows if they'll press 10,000 Days. I have no idea. I hope they do. I hope they do. But for now I have a bootleg, which I don't think I've ever showed on here. I don't plan to. But that's a colored edition. It sounds fine. It sounds absolutely fine. There's no issues with it. But yeah. Somebody's going to give me shit because I just plopped that down on the ground and you heard it. Don't worry, it's fine. So anyway, that's all that I have today, guys. I'm back. Hopefully I'll have some more videos out soon. I'm not going to make any promises. Maybe I'll record. I absolutely will have a new video out next week because there is a promotion that I'm going to be doing with a band that I love, and stuff like that. So definitely there'll be something coming next week. This is my teaser for it. Be on the lookout for it. I'll post some other stuff too. But in terms of collection updates and stuff like that, I do have one pile sitting back there that I'm making a special video on, and if you are a grind fan, you already recognize that front album, so you know what's coming next. And then Black Metal Monday is definitely going to get recorded because I got a ton of new black metal albums recently over the last several weeks that I haven't actually talked about on here that should be talked about. So that's all I have. See you guys in the next one.